We're in Perth, very windy Perth. It's Boorloo on Whadjuk country, and you simply cannot come here without delving into the rich culture and the history of the land that we are on. We're about to experience something very special on the Big Time Preview.
Karya Wanju, Nanjuk Minogini, Nanjuk Minotwanki. Hello and welcome. I'm happy to see you today. Coronala Kubang, Narjunga Morjunga Bridia, Corona Janet Minogini, Nunogini. Our people's spirits are still here. Our spirit stories are still here. We are still here.
Well, the host nation has headed west in desperate search of their first win of this tournament after they were pretty comprehensively beaten by New Zealand in their opener. Now let's take a little bit of a look at the points table. Unsurprisingly, they are sitting right at the bottom, their net run rate taking a huge hit from that emphatic loss. So they've got a lot of ground to make up, and a man who knows a thing or two about making up for lost ground in a World Cup is Adam Gilchrist. Gilly, welcome to the show.
Oh, great to be chatting. Yeah, it's not the ideal situation the Australians find themselves in. There's a lot to think about, a lot to ponder on that opening performance, and as you mentioned, it's win at all costs to stay alive.
So let's take it back to the 1999 World Cup. You were part of that group of legends who went on to win 7 straight and lift the trophy. So a two-part question. Number one, how did you guys do that? And secondly, how does this current Aussie group emulate that?
We had a very big open heart-to-heart meeting. There had been a bit of a build-up around that time, and it came to a head where we had to really identify a few issues, sort of a few things off-field out within the team dynamic. Honesty, I guess that's the key thing, making sure that if there's any little off-field issues, of which there are a few now for the Australians, they've got a bit to identify and work out, and maybe it's not affecting them at all, but they just need to make sure that they have clear heads when they lead into this next game.
So let's take you inside the camp. West Aussie all-rounder Mitchell Marsh spoke to the media, and he insists they're still remaining a tight-knit unit.
I think that we've got a lot of confidence in our group that once we get on a roll, we're going to be very hard to stop. We had so much cricket in the lead up to the game. We had guys in and out, in and out. It was all about building to the World Cup. And obviously we didn't start well the other night, but we've got great self-belief. As I said before, we know our best is the best in the world. So hopefully we can turn it around against Sri Lanka and really show them.
Now, in stark contrast to the Aussies, the Sri Lankans, well, they come into this clash with confidence sky high. They're in form, they have individuals really performing well. Kusal Mendes coming off back-to-back half-centuries. How impressive has he been?
Yeah, he's just wonderful to watch. I mean, any opener that goes up and is so dynamic and takes the bowling on while the field restrictions are in play, that's what entertainment's all about, particularly in this format. So he'll have a lot of confidence. The team will, after what was the shakiest of shaky starts, as we all knew in the qualifiers, losing to Namibia, and for a moment it looked like they could possibly not even qualify. But it was a similar story for them in the Asia Cup just a number of weeks ago. They struggled early, but then they go on and lift the trophy. So the sense of unity, even with injuries to their fast bowlers, which that might be a bit of a handbrake coming here and playing at the stadium in Perth, but they'll be chock full of confidence, and they've got support around them from one of the greats of Sri Lankan cricket, one of the greats of international cricket, Jaya Wardner.
Well, you speak of that legend, let's get the inside word from him.
Well, I think the biggest strength is that they play as a unit. I mean, that's something that we've drilled into them. We have some individual brilliance, which is great to have, but I think the real success for the Sri Lankan unit is about contributing. Everyone contributes in their own way, identifying their roles. I think that's what a quality team does, and they will get confidence from that. So that's purely the strength of the Sri Lankan unit.
So the stage is set for a really exciting encounter here at Perth Stadium, Sri Lanka versus Australia. I need you to take your Aussie cap off for this one. Who is going to win this encounter, and who will be the secret weapon to help them get it done?
Yeah, look, I think Australia still start favourites. I think the conditions we all know, we don't need to hype on that too much, but it's a fast, bouncy wicket. We saw England exploit that with Mark Wood's pace. So Australia's pace bowling stocks, and they're wounded after their efforts in Sydney against New Zealand, so they'll come charging out. So I would expect Stark and Hazelwood on this wicket. It's going to be really challenging. So I think that's where Australia have the dominance at the moment. So I've got to say, I think they